when we have a barbecue, most of the time the boat nearly burns down.
Oh shit! Oh no!
And that's your windlass motor right there. So we've just met Aiko. She got attacked by a crocodile in the San Blas.
Maybe I can lose my leg.
My heart was racing the whole time she was telling the story.
With Hurricane Irma, boats tossed. Here we are at this marina.
Hi, my name's Colin. I used to be a chief engineer on super yachts, but gave it all up to buy a hurricane-damaged Lagoon 450. My friends and I are fixing it up as we go, and are determined to circumnavigate the entire planet. So subscribe if you want some inspiration to live life to the fullest. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did. So what are you waiting for? It had been a tough week for us. We had found out that we had cracked bulkheads in the boat, and then we got struck by lightning, losing most of our electronics. We were well and truly into the Panamanian wet season, which is one of the worst in the world for lightning.
Oh, someone's just shot a flare off one of these fishing boats. And it's just shot. And everyone's on edge because we had the lightning strike hit the boat today, so we all just jumped up. We're in the middle of the canal, so we're definitely going to have the police and like someone's going to turn up. It's a pretty stupid thing to do.
Guys. Hey, security.
That was
Oh my god! This is the money shot!
It was looking like most of the electronics were destroyed, so I took a minute to give the crew a quick lesson on the basic troubleshooting of a 12-volt electrical system.
Alright, so electricity on a boat. So the power comes out of the positive side and it goes to a switch. All that's doing is connecting the circuit here. So that's the basics of a 12-volt system. So what's happened when we got struck by lightning is 10,000 volts have come down into the system and certain things have fried. So now we've got to go through one by one and find out what's actually blowing. So as the power comes through, we'll close the switch and then we can test if there's 12 volts here. If there's 12 volts here, that means the fuse hasn't blown and the power is getting through to here. And then we can go to wherever the thing is and we can see if there's 12 volts here. And if that's getting 12 volts, and it's still not working. If you put these into that equation, it goes power equals the current times volts. So what's that? What's that?
100 divided by 12.
Sweet?
Yeah.
Check everything.
You wait.
Wait till I electrocute myself.
Jamie.
So, today we're having a barbecue, sausage sizzle, Bunnings sausage sizzle. But this lovely lady Lynn has gave us some South African Walworth sausages. So we're actually firing up the barbie. It's the second time we've fired her up in like 8 months, and when we have a barbecue, most of the time the boat nearly burns down. So
Watch this space.
watch this space.
Like we've been doing, we have to be careful.
Yeah, I was saying like, luck's
I
not
wouldn't
on
be
our
surprised.
side.
So we've got the barbecue mounted here. There's not really many places we could put a barbecue, so we put it here, made this little bracket for it. But we haven't used it much. I think if we did, all the smoke would come up here and blacken the solar panel. It's the smartest thing we've ever done, but it's not ideal, but we'll make it work. It's like the whole bag, I reckon.
We got.
Okay. We got fire, baby.
Oh no, no. Oh man.
Don't do it.
How is the sausage, Colin?
So good. I don't know if she would approve, but we put like a little bit of pineapple and stuff in there, and it's absolutely delicious. Thank you, Lynn. So we've just met Jay and Aiko. They're on what's your boat? Windlass?
Wonder surf.
Wonder Surf. And they've come over for a beer, but Aiko just started to tell us an incredible story about a crocodile attack in the San Blas in the Hollandaise. Yeah, we were there. We were snorkeling there as well. So this is a pretty crazy story for us because we spent a month there. But she got attacked by a crocodile. So what happened? You were snorkeling?
Yeah, it was near also coral reef, and I felt somebody touch very little bit top of my finger, and I turned and I found a crocodile. She was very quiet, swimming beside me, but I felt scared. I kicked and she was like receiving. Then I thought, okay, I'm winning. But after she attacked, she beat my flipper first, and she did like that, and she took my flipper away. Then she come here about me. Then she didn't like so much. Then she come more like up to close to the groin.
Yeah.
And she did strong, and she went down deeper, twisting.
Crocodile roll.
Yeah.
Death roll. Death roll.
And I think everybody do same. Like I tried to open and open the mouth, but she was very strong. So I just watch her eyes. I try to keep quiet as long as possible I can hold, and I just keep watching her face to say, okay, maybe I can lose my leg, but I don't want to die. I felt she understood what I asked, like, please, I don't want to die now. And yes, I think she opened because I very seriously asked her to open the mouth. Now I believe we can talk a little bit. Yeah, sure.
Did you think you were going to die? Or
Yeah, I thought
You thought this is it. My life is
it's
over.
possible to be over.
What was
But
that?
I still had hope. I went to hospital right near Panama City, and it's not like Japan, like nurse are so cheerful and dancing and singing in Panama, and wow, crocodile! Wow, crocodile attack! Wow! And everybody comes, wow, crocodile! Crocodile!
What an incredible story. Such a brave lady. You guys heard the second time that she told it, but the first time she told us the story, we were just in absolute shock. What a terrifying experience, but she's just got such a nice, positive feeling about the whole thing. She's just so grateful that she survived. My heart was racing the whole time she was telling the story.
I felt many things like that. I cannot surf. If I lose leg, but I can read more book in the bed. I felt about all the life. So I don't know how long it was.
Because it came up so nonchalant. She was like, yeah, I got attacked by a crocodile. We're like, what? And then she just casually started telling the story. We're just like, holy shit. So this happened a year ago, and now she's back to her good old self. But yeah, what a story. The next day, Aiko and her captain went grocery shopping. Shortly after they were gone, the wind picked up to over 20 knots, and we saw their boat dragging across the anchorage. So we sped to the rescue with some of our friends from other boats.
So we're just packing up our groceries, and our friends on Lulea started yelling out that the boat next to them was dragging, and it's Jay, who just put a sticker on the boat last night, Wonder Surf. Right under this sex instructor. No one on his boat, so it's It's one of those things, you gotta be careful. He was saying yesterday that he should probably put some more chain out. I guess if you're having that thought, you should just go ahead and do it. Another little lesson to be learned there. Thank you. It was fucking gone. What was that? It was moving. It was full sideways, then the full sideways drag, you know? I think it probably drifted 50 feet or so, and then we dumped another 20 and then it howled. So you might want to reassess the situation because you kind of got a lot of chain out now and you're next to that research person.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. I'll go sort it out. Thank you. And we just talked about that last night.
I know.
Thanks heaps. How are you, Bear?
So that's it, we're going through the canal. We just had our inspection. They didn't even come on the boat because we've already been through the canal before, so they just asked a few questions, made sure the dogs were healthy, that we were healthy. So we're done. We're just waiting for a transit date and then we'll be back in the Caribbean. So kind of a weird feeling, but we gotta go to Linton Bay and get the boat fixed.
Alright, Naomi, thank you.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah, be good.
Yeah.
Naomi had joined the boat a couple of months earlier when we all thought we were about to cross the Pacific together. When the pandemic hit, the borders around us all closed, so we remained in Panama trying to make the most of a rough situation. But after we found out the news that Parlay had to go back to the shipyard, it was a good time for Naomi to go home to the Netherlands to her family to ride out the rest of the pandemic.
I'm gonna leave today. I'm really sad about it.
We had been through a lot. The outbreak of a pandemic, cracked bulkheads in our boat, and a direct lightning strike. But all of a sudden, our family of 5 were now 4.
We're gonna miss you, Naomi. I'm gonna miss you too.
Losing a crew member always has such a huge impact on the rest of us, as you get so used to having each other around. But Parlay's cruising itinerary was to be put on hold until we fixed the damage, so we were heading to a new home, back into the Caribbean.
What you doing?
Just pulled the motor out, we've got to clean the brushes up.
Our windlass had slowly gotten weaker and weaker, to the point where it was barely able to lift up the anchor anymore. So with Jamie's new knowledge of electronics, he set to work trying to troubleshoot the issue.
But yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing, but
She'll be right, mate.
it's not ideal, but we'll make it work.
Your anchor windlass is one of those things that you just need, especially if you're anchored in like 50, 60, 70 feet of water. If the windlass doesn't work, you got to pull this chain up by hand. It's a 1/2-inch chain. It's not fun. Should probably even carry a spare motor, I think. I think it's about $3,000. So again, nothing's cheap on boats, but should be something I look into investing in. And how do the brushes look? Oh man, they're screwed. Uh-oh.
That's the worst I've ever seen.
We're gonna have to get new brushes, 100%. Woo! That's bad. All the shops are closed because it's coronavirus lockdown. We've got a bunch of friends here, but the chance of them having spare brushes is pretty much 0.
2 hours later.
The word got out on the street that we needed a few of these brushes. And our friend Rudy came over and he gave us these ones, which are slightly too big, but they're out of a windlass, so it's the exact kind of brush that we need. So I think we'll put some sandpaper down and just slowly shave these down until they fit in that housing there, and then they should be good to go, so we'll find out.
2 hours later.
So we just spent the last couple hours shaving them down. Now they fit in there. No. We just pulled one of the old ones out, and the ones that Rudy gave us fit straight in there. They're actually the exact size that we need. What are the odds? So these are the new brushes. Well, they're used, but they've got so much more meat on them, and these springs just go on like this. They go this way and they sit there like that. You put the spring in behind the brush like that, so that when it goes over the commutator there, it pushes it against that, makes good contact. That's 1, 4. And that's your windlass motor right there.
So we just put the motor back in, wired it all up, bolted it in. So now we want to hope that it goes up and down.
Okay.
Perfect.
Stoked. Okay, the big lesson here, guys, is to carry spare brushes with you for your windlass, because if they get too worn out, you don't have a windlass, and that's not what you want. Obviously, just one of the most crucial parts of the boat is that windlass. Make sure it's all in good working condition. We just checked the oil level inside the gearbox, made sure there was still plenty of oil, and greased it all up, and she should be good for until it breaks again. So this is basically our last night in the anchorage here. Well, it's our last night really in the Pacific. So we're having a little bit of a leaving party tonight. Some of our friends that are still in this anchorage are coming over. So we're just gonna hang out with them tonight and say farewell.
We had made some great friends during the pandemic and seen the sailing community come together like never before. During the lockdown, we were all isolated out in the Las Perlas Islands, quite aware of the fact that we were all doing a forced quarantine on our boats together. A sense of camaraderie had developed between us, knowing we were all trapped in Panama together. So it was with a heavy heart that we had to say goodbye to our friends, but for now, our mission was clear. Go back through the canal, go to Linton Bay, and get Parlay fixed once and for all. Ain't that right, Jamie?
We got hit by lightning the other day.
Bloody hell!
Fuck, it's not your year, is it?
Nah,